Hey, let's start today by taking a selfie. I need 30 seconds exposure time, so then, now we have an interesting film adapter or film cartridge here. It has another part that attaches underneath like this. And it has two dark slides. So now I pull out the number 2. I pulled out number 1 when I was taking the picture. Now I pull out number 2. And the image drops to this container below. Then I take a developer, stop path, fixture, and some tissue paper because I'm often messy. And we can develop this thingy. Developer first goes in like this. And whatever is the development time we need, we're gonna just shake it a bit and move it around. Then finally the development time is over and I use this little funnel just to make sure that I don't mess up. Then we put in the stop path. And then of course a little bit movements needed for the stop path to work. And then the stop is over. See, I haven't spilled anything yet. And then finally we're gonna add in some fixer. And we fix it. And then finally the fixing time is over and we're gonna pour it back. Now hopefully we can see some kind of a selfie here. We can open this box. Oh, and here it is. A neat selfie. This was taken on Harman positive photo paper. So you can directly shoot on a photo paper and it makes positive images. And now it's still wet from the fixture, so I need to go and wash it under the faucet in our kitchen. Hold on a sec. Not the most beautiful image, but it was all done at one go here on our dining room table without too much of a mess. I love this kind of tools and gear that allows me to do photography slightly differently. I, built some of them myself. This is a Graflex Speed Graphics where I have attached an enlarger condenser lens, and that's why these pictures look like this. And you know, then I built an entire SLR camera out of the parts from the local hardware store. And I made a video about it, you know, including the lens and the shutter, and then I made a camera out of the ukulele. You know, all kind of crazy stuff. So I'm always interested in seeing what other people do and other small boutique companies do to push the analog photography to sometimes to places where it shouldn't go, but it's always a lot of fun. So here I want to introduce a small, I think it's a one single guy company that builds interesting stuff. It's called a Jackal Photo, and I'm not affiliated or anything. I just found their products and I've been trying to use them because they have some really funky aspects to them. So the first one that I found was kind of a small frame that you can put into your regular 4x5 sheet film holder. It slides in like a sheet film, but then what it does is that it holds on to an Instax wide film. So you can slide an Instax wide film inside of this holder now, and you can go and take some pictures now using just a regular 4x5 film sheet holder. You know, I have several of these and I can take several Instax films with me. These one I bought myself when I found them, and then the owner or the CEO, the founder of the Jackal Photo contacted me and said, do you want to try something else? And then he sent me this. This is an interesting thing. You know, that's the one that we use to take a selfie. It's basically a 4x5 sheet film holder with a dark slide, so you put your film here and then you close it and then you take a picture. It goes into the standard, you know, 4x5 sheet film location, and unlike some other products, it also goes underneath a regular old-fashioned Graflex bag. But then it has an interesting thing. It has an other dark slide, and when you open this other dark slide, the film drops to this container, watertight container underneath this thing. So you need to keep them together when you open this slide number 2. So now the film or the paper, in this case, it drops to the lower part of this unit. And then it allows you to circulate liquids and develop chemicals in it. Hey, so this was exciting, but I thought we gotta really push this through a real-time test. So now here on our dining room table, things are too easy. So what if we make things a bit more difficult? Now, unfortunately, you can't just do everything with just these tools. So I needed 2 more things with me. I needed a changing bag. You know, these are handy also elsewhere. It's a light-tight bag with handles, so you can put your hands into here, and then it creates a light-tight little space where you can do things that are not supposed to be exposed to light, like changing the film or pushing the new sheet to the sheet film holder or any of that. So that I needed. And then I have this Lomo Graflock bag that I made a review. I put the links also to these other videos that I'm mentioning, so to the description page. So I made a review of this Lomo Graflock bag. This is not a good product. So you need either this one or then you need an Instax wide camera on the go, unfortunately, to take these Instax pictures. Because what you need to do is that then in the changing bag, take this exposed Instax film out from the cartridge, put it inside the film holder. Now this needs to happen in the dark. Close it like this, then you can take it out from the dark and push the film out. So now the Instax film develops. But hey, enough talking. Let's go on the lake, because in addition to the dark, changing back and this squeeze machine, you need a lake and enough water to wash your final results from the fixer. Let's go to the lake. Hey, so what's the outcome? What's the verdict? This 4x5 Instax wide film holders, these are superb. I used to actually use an exposed film that I cut some corners and use that to hold on an Instax wide before I found these. But they were pretty flimsical and they didn't really hold the film tightly enough. These are perfect. The film is so snug and placed perfectly at the right location. It's right in the middle. So you get your exposure right in the middle of the Instax film. Unlike if you would shoot with this and the other problems with that. So this is a perfect thing if you are interested in shooting Instax wide with your 4x5. I can highly recommend these little holders, and they are not that expensive either. And then this one. Now this is a little bit of a different story. It works. And as you saw from the demonstration of the Selfie and on the lake, it works. But how often you need it, and then you really need to carry your developer with you. And for the film, it kind of doesn't make any sense because film is only the halfway and you still need to go and get the paper prints done, or then you need to go and scan your images. But if you shoot on a photo paper, why not? Now the first picture is easy. But the second picture is a bit challenging because no matter how careful you are, the back of this gets wet. And then you need to carefully wipe it clean, and if it gets wet, then eventually your picture gets wet too early and you might leave some finger marks, like what happened with this picture. So this requires a little bit more dedication and time. Then there are a couple of things that you better remember. When you push the photo inside of this, make sure that it goes underneath this little threshold here so that it keeps itself, in place when you push in the first light. So be careful in the dark when you put in the photo paper or film that it goes into the right place. Other than that, it's perfectly engineered little gadget for the purpose that it's built on, and why not? I like these kind of weird things. Hey, I put the link to the store where you can purchase these if you are into this kind of madness. And thanks for watching. Next time something else.